Hola mis amigos, yo soy H. and we're back with another episode of Lifeline Help Text Line? I think that's what the game is called. I literally just opened the app, but I forgot. Where we last left off, we found this man who is a police officer, and he needed our help with a crime case. A case that was on the little of out of the ordinary. Let's see how it goes.
This woman is opening the box. I feel dizzy.
Run!
God, I can barely move my legs. But yeah, I'm gonna run. I can barely think straight. Should I run back to the overlook or toward the highway? The overlook will give me a cover, but the highway gives me a lot of room to maneuver. Highway.
It has to be right. Come on. It will give you plenty of space to move and escape them.
Okay. I'm going for the highway. I'll keep the speech to text thing on. They're getting out of their car. They're chasing me. Holy crap, they're fast.
You cannot escape us on foot, detective.
They're gaining on me. I'm going to try to make it across the highway.
The connection check has been lost. Your compassion rating is low. Maybe next time, things will go a little better.
God damn it. Okay. Since I'm guessing run did not work, I'm going to rewind the story here, and let's try to arrest them.
I'm reaching for my gun. Okay, guys, hands up. I don't know what the hell. I can't put my gun from its holster.
You have information we require. You will join us. You will tell us what we want to know.
I really want to see what's in that box so badly. She's taking something out. It's beautiful. It's perfect. Verdant shade of green, and his tendrils whip back and forth in such a hypnotic that is probably a tentacle connected to a squid that you most likely have to run away from. Otherwise, it will consume your brain and perform weird hentai on you. I have to have it. Please give me that.
You can relax now.
I can relax now. Everything is fine. I'm gonna swallow that thing, and then I'll be part of something wonderful and alive. And then I never have to be alone again. Ever. Goodbye.
God damn it. Is that the same alien that was from Lifeline when we helped Taylor? I hope not. Okay, so arrest them didn't work. So let's run, but let's put fast mode on. Yes, I want fast mode on. Okay, and then we run, but we run to the highway. That did not work last time. So if we run to the overlook, that might give us a little bit of cover.
Thanks for that. I don't know what the hell is happening, but you got me out of it. Okay, I'm leaving the speech text thing on so I can yell at you. No, I don't want fast mode on. I'm running toward the overlook. They're getting out of their truck. They're coming after me. They got guns. Hey, H. This may not have been the best idea. I'm kind of trapped. I can either jump over the edge of the overlook, or I can start shooting. I don't know how far it is to the ground. I'm starting to feel weak again.
You have to jump. Avoid them as best as possible. Oh my god.
Here goes nothing.
Oh no. Alex, you better be alive. There we go.
Oh! That really hurt. It was fart.
Are you okay?
I wouldn't say I'm okay. Sorry. But I'm basically undamaged. I'm going to keep running, but I don't know who those people are. But they scared the crap out of me. It's all forest down this valley. Maybe I can lose them. Holy crap. I've been running from those two for what feels like forever. I've scraped my face and hands on every branch in Texas, it feels like. Now I'm at the bottom of a ravine, and if I keep going, I'll hit the wild basin trails, where I can double back and try to get to my car. I'd call for backup, but as luck would have it, I have no signal here.
Fe- I feel like they probably have already surrounded your car and surrounded the whole perimeter. So I don't think going back is a very good idea. So I'm pretty sure you should just keep going.
I'll keep moving. I think that's the best plan. Oh great! I must have a signal after all because my phone is ringing. If I only wasn't trying to hide from people with guns at the moment. Hello? This is Detective Espino. I need you to call 911 and...
Hello, detective.
It's the green-eyed woman. Hers is not a voice you forget.
You don't think our business was concluded, did you?
Who are you? How did you get this number?
It doesn't matter. Look up.
The two weirdos are here, and the guy has a gun on me. The woman is holding open the box. There's something inside the box. Something green. With tendrils. But I shot you 3 times in the chest.
Yes, and it was extremely unpleasant to wrap and lift under those conditions, I can assure you. But I didn't call to talk about me. You have shown yourself to be tenacious and resourceful. I think it would be unwise to occupy you at this time. I'd rather let you do my work for me, with your mind intact. Find Jason Leder's murderer. Find the crystals. I won't get in your way. That is a promise.
What then? What?
Yeah, and then what? She just giggled.
And then I take what I want, and I leave you what's left.
What the hell is that supposed to mean? Who are you?
We'll meet again soon, detective. You can count on it. And when we do, you'll know everything.
She hung up, and the man and the woman from the truck has vanished. It's like they began to waver, like a mirage rising from the roadway on a hot day, and then they just flickered into nothing. I need to sit down. I'll get back to you in a little bit. I'm back in my car now.
Are you okay, man? I mean, I know what's going on, so I don't need to ask that, but are you okay?
No, I'm extremely not okay. But I appreciate you asking. I'm shaking with anger, frustration, fear. I feel completely alone. Except for you, H. You're all I got now. The 2 freaks and their truck have completely vanished. If anybody was going to believe a woman disappearing from a crime scene, which they already weren't, they sure as hell aren't going to believe it more if I add 2 vanishing killers and a squirming green monster to the mix. How did this become my life? So, do you think I'm crazy now?
I never thought you were. Why would you even ask me that? I believed you the whole time.
I really appreciate that. It's nice to be believed in. The way I see it, the only thing I can do is work the case I'm already on. I don't have any way of tracking the green-eyed woman and her buddies. The only thing I know about her is that she's as interested in my case as I am. So I work the case, and that will lead me to her. One way or the other.
You must be very upset right now.
Yes, I am. Extremely upset. I'm going to take all this fear and disbelief and awe, and I'm going to methodically ignore every bit of it. That's how I survived childhood. And that's how I'll survive this. Are you ready to do this, H? Whatever might happen, because I can't not do this without you. I need you, okay? This is maybe the first time in my entire life I've ever admitted to needing anyone. That's how important this is. But I won't blame you if you back away now.
I'm still in. I'm still in all the way. This is cool as shit. This makes my life a hell of a lot more interesting.
Okay, let's go. I guess the first thing I need to do is tell you about the case. Do you want the long version or the short version? If you ask for the long version, there's a lot more detail, but it's long. You ask for the short version, shorter. But I might leave out something useful. I'll fill you in on the details later as we go.
Well, I do need to know about every single thing going on. But then I don't want to waste people's time. But then again, I do need to know. I kind of needed the long version. If you don't mind.
Great. That's probably for the best. I'm going to go home and change out of these torn, filthy clothes, and then I can pull the case files up on my computer. Give me an hour or so. I'm home now, and in fresh clothes. Being in a normal place makes all the weird stuff that's happened today seem like a dream. But I know it really happened. I know I'm not a psychotic now, thanks to you. Okay, I have the file up now. Let's go over it. While I'm talking, feel free to interrupt me to ask questions or just say, okay, if you get it. Like this? Huh? Yes, exactly like that. You're very clever. I can see I picked the right person to team up with. If this counseling thing doesn't work out, you have a bright future to improve comedy. Improv comedy. Now then, I'm just going to run down the chronological of case files. The chronologically contains every event record in the case to date. It starts yesterday at 6:10 a.m. when 911 receives a confused call from a citizen. The address is out by Lake Austin. Very nice part of town, as it happens. She's calling to report a drowned man in a swimming pool across the street. Paramedics show up at 6:19 and try to resuscitate the man, but he's clearly been dead for some time.
Okay. Okay, and?
The first officer to arrive on the scene at 6:22 is someone named Oscar Alvarez, who I've never met before yesterday. He seems like a fairly competent cop. He secures the scene, calls the homicide division, and makes notes of everything he sees. He does not touch the body, and he does not track unless footprints are all around the edge of the pool. If only lieutenants and captains were as reliable as crime scenes as Oscar Alvarez is.
Okay.
I first enter the story at 6:28. Sergeant Wheeler takes the call, checks the board, and sees that I'm next in rotation, so it goes to me. She tells me I got a floater. What's a floater?
I don't know what that is. Inform me.
Oh, sorry. That's the ever-so-sensitive cop slang for a drowning victim. Not always a most PC people cops. A body that gets fish out of the water after it's been in for a while can be decidedly unpleasant to deal with. We're about to get to the part where I see the body. If you like, I can leave out the more graphic elements of the story. Sometimes police work involves a lot of gory details. That's just how it is. But if that kind of stuff turns your stomach, I can leave the gross part out. What do you prefer?
I can handle it. I mean, I'm a big boy. I can handle stuff like that. I play Call of Duty for a living. No, I don't.
Okay, you asked for it. Just don't come crying to me if you yodel your groceries later. So let's talk about the scene for a second. The location, like I said, is a house by Lake Austin, which is really just a wide spot in the Colorado River. It's an odd location, a narrow strip of land bordered by the river on the west. It's about 50 yards wide, just enough for a single line of homes. On the east side, behind the house, is a rocky cliff face called the Balcony's Escarpment. In the early morning, the cliff hides the sun, and the whole place is pretty dark.
So it was dark when you got there?
Exactly. I really want to revisit it when it's light. According to the chronology, I'm logged in the crime scene at 6:55, and I officially take control of it. My partner, Dietz, is secondary on the case. We trade off primary duties, but mostly I take the interviews and he stays in the office and does paperwork. Dietz prefers it that way, and so do I. So it works. He's not a bad cop or anything, but he's been doing this for a while. I think he's just a little burned out. Anyway, I command Patrol Officer Alvarez for his handling of the scene and tell him to stick around. I gather up the other officers and send them off to do a canvass of the neighborhood.
What's a canvas? Canvas. speak ah. No.
A canvas just means that we go door to door and ask neighbors if they saw anything. One after the other, after the other. It's maybe not the most glamorous part of the police work, but you'd be amazed at how much evidence we get that way. Come to think of it, there are no glamorous parts of police work, but it's important nonetheless. The first thing I do when I take the scene, in the backyard of the really nice home is a really nice part of town. All in all, it's like the opening of Sunset Boulevard, but without the ironic voiceover.
Sunset Boulevard? What is that?
It's a movie from the 1950s with William Holden and Gloria Swanson. About the dark side of the Hollywood. I wasn't around by that time. It ends with the oft misquoted line, "Alright, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up." Anyway, that's what the scene reminded me of. It's well tended, but there doesn't appear to be anyone there. No cars in the driveway. No answers to my knocking. The lot must be worth a fortune. Right up on the water of the Lake Austin. It has a private boat dock and a swimming pool just a few feet from the water. Why you need a swimming pool when you have an entire lake right there is beyond me. But you know what Fitzgerald said about the very rich.
What did Fitzgerald say?
Oh jeez, you had to call me on it.
Ha 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 ha.
I admit, I don't remember the line exactly. Something about they're way different from you and me. Google it. Like, Fitzgerald very rich, and it's probably one of the top hits. Actually, I might. Next, I take a look at the body, but there's not much to see there. He's a young guy, Caucasian, good looking for the beating he took, clearly in good health at the time of his death. He dressed up in gym shorts and t-shirt commemorating a law firm employee retreat. Team building exercise 09. It's business time. This is a guy who worked out, ate dinosaur kale, and got weekly messages, I'm guessing. For all good it did him. After being in the pool and having a EMT work him over, a trace evidence is going to be hard to collect. He's covered in cuts and scrapes and looks like to have numerous broken bones. There's a pretty serious break in one of his legs. Part of his left femur is sticking out to a 45-degree angle. Ugh. The post-mortem lividity in his face, arm, and legs, meaning he was face down in the pool for a while after he died. Hey, you said you didn't mind gory stuff.
I don't, but just after I read it, I think about it, just a little on the edge.
So it's safe, but he didn't just fall in the pool and drown. Either was beaten up and fell into the pool, or he was killed and then someone dumped him there. The medical examiner will be able to tell me. What is post-mortem lividity? I wish to know. Alright, post-mortem lividity, or livor mortis, is the blood settling in the lowest part of the body after death. It causes reddish-purplish marks on the skin, like bruises, right? We use it to determine what position of the body was in when the victim died. Looks like kind of a big bruise. I checked his pockets to find a money clip. Inside there's... hang on. There's an inventory here someplace. Okay. Inside there's a key for a Lexus and Texas driver's license. The license identifies him as Jason Eric Leader of 2212 Sunny Slope Drive. With that address, he wasn't doing too bad for himself. There aren't any other personal effects except for a standard gold wedding ring, which means I've got a spouse to notify. What did you do next? I get Letty, the division admin, on the phone. She does her computer magic and gives me the name of Letter's wife, Mia Westerman, along with a cell and work numbers. I call the cell, and Mia Westerman picks up. I tell her who I am and ask if she can meet me at her home. She asks if there was a break-in or something, and I say I should speak to her husband because she's in Houston at a conference.
What did you say to her?
I tell her that her husband has a medical emergency and that she needs to come home immediately. She asks what happened, and I tell her she needs to come home and we'll discuss in person. Then I tell everyone involved in the case not to say a word to anyone until I had a chance to talk to her. That plane should be here soon. I'm really looking forward to talking to her. What happened next? By this time, the crime scene folks have arrived at the scene. I point some stuff out to them, request a couple of specific photos, but these people are pros. They don't really need my assistance, and I have other things to do. So I head back to the office and write up a warrant on the ladder home. While I'm doing that, I call Letter's employer to see if I get any information. This is difficult, since they have that kind of dance around why I need it. I tell him looking for information about Jason Letter, and it's very important. The boss, a guy named Sherwood, is worried, but he's trying to be helpful, I think. Then he asks what happened to the crystals, and I say, what crystals? He tells me that Letter was acting as a go-between to sell some very valuable and rare crystals, and that Letter had a meeting about them yesterday morning. So that's interesting. What kind of crystals? No clue. Sherwood said I should talk to the owner of the crystals. Said she'd be eager to help if they're missing. Her name is Mary Jo Irving. Now at least I have one piece of the puzzle in place. When someone is murdered while in the midst of selling something rare and valuable, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to guess at a potential motive for the crime, but that remains to be seen. Anyway, I get off the phone with Letter's boss at 8:58. While all this has been going on, the canvas has been returned to one useful tidbit. Around 6 a.m. the previous morning, a neighbor, not the one who found the body, saw a vehicle pull up to the property. It paused there, and turned around and left just after a minute or two. She only saw headlights and taillights, but as far as certain that was our killer dumping the body. That's why you go around and banging on doors. What kind of car? Good question. You're on your way to being a low-paid civil servant just like me. Ouch. Ooh, sorry. But she couldn't see anything about the vehicle other than that it was pretty big, not like any of the smart cars or nothing. He's also sent off my warrant to search Letter's house to the judge, and a little while later it comes back signed. So I head over to Letter's house, and that's when I meet the green-eyed woman. I let myself in using the key under the frog. I heard a sound from the office, and there she is. Oh my god! Is she there now? No. Nothing like that. It just hit me. What she said was, "Where are they?" I didn't know what she meant at the time, but now it's fairly obvious. She was talking about the crystals. You know what happened after that? She came at me. I shot her. She vanished. Very similar to how the two people in the ravine vanished. I covered up the shooting and went back to the office. I puked in front of everyone. I considered a new career in falafel. I drove out to the scenic overpass. I don't know how long I sat there before downloading this app, but I'm glad I did. I feel a lot better telling you all about this. And now you know everything I know. Here's what we need to do.
Help here again. Let me take a moment to check in and see how things are going. You're doing an okay job so far. Your compassion rating is medium. Keep it up. I'll check in with you later.
Hey, you still there? The help bot thing said it was checking in with you. It's being helpful, I guess. Oh, gotcha. Is it just me, or is that help bot the tiniest bit annoying? Now then, the first thing I need your help with is pretty straightforward. I need to know where to go first. I need to get background on this case so I know what I'm dealing with. Sometimes the best approach is to work from the outside in. That way you have the information you need when you're questioning the important people. I can A, talk with Letter's co-workers, get a sense of who he was and what he was before he died, or I can B, talk to Mary Jo Irving, the woman who hired him to sell the mysterious crystals. If the crystals are the key to the green-eyed woman, I want to know where they came from. Maybe the folks at the office know more about what he was doing with him. What do you recommend I do?
Huh. That's a very, very good question. Good question that'll have to be answered in the next episode. Sorry, but I'm running out of time. So I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hasta la vista, baby.